still watching Prime Morning. It's time for us to delve into what the newspapers have for us. My name is Roslyn Felly. Hi, Siadua.
Hi, Roslyn.
How are you?
I'm doing okay.
Yeah.
My voice is becoming a bit husky.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We're in the flu season.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and you have to take very good care of yourself
That's
if you're
true.
out there, because it's not funny at all.
At all.
And the kind of flu that's in, it's not the regular flu. It's very, very, very bad. You know, it breaks you down.
Yeah.
Everybody that I know who has gotten the flu has had a breakdown. I got mine, which some people didn't believe I had it. Even though
Because you were still coming to work.
Even though I was speaking through my nose and I could barely do anything, you know. So it's something that you have to take very good care of yourself. So probably if you start some lozenges and some honey and a lemon tea and all of that, you know, back in the day when COVID came, we said do inhalation. Maybe it's time for you to start some inhalation as well. Yeah.
It will
You'll be
really
fine.
help. Thank you.
Yeah. Anyway, if you just joined us, this is a news flash segment which is proudly brought to you by Franco Trading Enterprise. Still phone prepare for you. Whatever gadget you're looking for, whether mobile phones, televisions, or CCTV cameras, we say just go to Franco Trading Enterprise and grab yours today. You'll definitely not regret it. You'll rather say thank you for recommending Franco to us, and we'll say you are welcome. You know.
Definitely. Yeah, so whatever you're looking for, just make sure that you download the app as well, so it makes it very easy for you. It's Franco Trading app. Anytime, any day, wherever you find yourself at, just download the app and they will deliver to you at your doorstep.
We do have a lot of newspapers. I just had to pass yours to you. We do have a lot of
the Canary.
Yeah, the Canary. So I'm wondering if it's Canary Wharf or where it is.
Oh, wow. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. Maybe it's the Canary Wharf. That's where they got their inspiration from.
Probably.
Anyway, so you are still watching Prime Morning, and I want to say a very big thank you to all of you. We are going to be activating the Zoom link pretty shortly for you to join us. But then today, we also want to take a look at Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association, who are finally going to be calling off their strike. It's good news coming in.
It's great news.
Yeah, because some lives have been lost out of this. I remember listening to a report in the north where a pregnant woman was bitten by a snake, and they got to the hospital and there was nobody to attend to them. There was another woman who was in labor and she didn't have anybody to attend because the midwives at that time were also on strike. The lady who actually took to social media to let us know how she lost her ankle at Kolebu because she took her ankle there only for them to say they can't take care of him because they were on strike, and he lost his life.
And you know, with her story, what I was quite alarmed about was the fact that she mentioned that her uncle's wife was willing to pay any amount
and
for her husband to be attended to.
Yeah.
But they still insisted on saying no.
Yeah.
They wouldn't.
Yeah. So we are happy that finally government and the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association have come to an agreement. And so their leaders are asking that the strike be called off. But are the people happy about it, though? Well, we still don't know the details of what the agreement is with regards to government and the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association. But today we'll be having a guest here, and probably if he will be able to tell us, we'll be happy. If not, and he's been told to keep mute as well, but he'll still tell us some details with regards to all of these. So make sure you stay glued to your television set for this and even many more. And so I think we should do the newspapers, right?
Yes, definitely.
All right, so which one are we starting with?
I think you should start with yours.
I should start with mine? Okay, that's fantastic. So I'll start with the Daily Democrat newspaper, the Daily Democrat. KGL NLA contract is the best contract so far since establishment of NLA in 1958. Okay, we hear you. We are just hoping that one day they will not be telling us a different story and poking, you know, one or two things into it. Because, hey, if this happens, we'll come for you. Trust us. That's what we do right here on Joy. Dr. Sipayanki urges Nzima chiefs to support President Mahama's development agenda. I'm excited about Nzima. Anytime I hear Nzima, you know I'm Nzima. Yeah. And we hardly talk about us. So when people meet me, people are like, where do you hail from? I'm like, I'm Nzima. I'm like, oh. It's like, Nzimas don't exist. We exist. I'm a proud Nzima, although I can't speak the language too well. but I'm a proud Nzima, so I get excited when I hear Nzima. All right, so the next one says, government to transform horticulture industry, says President Mahama, and Otukono launches youth agribusiness training roadmap. That will be it for the Daily Democrat newspaper. But I think, let's see if they have some probably entertainment. Hey, we are in the era of fake. So there's a fake doctor who has been arrested for fraud and impersonation. And it says that the suspect, Frederick Papako Esifwa, was apprehended on Thursday, June 6, 2025, during an intelligence-led operation by the Police Intelligence Directorate headquarters. He was picked up at Kaswa, Crispo City in the central region while attempting to meet another victim he lured online. So what, he's an online doctor?
No, I think that if other fake, whatever, be it lawyers, be it doctors, be it even pastors, should look at this and sense the fact that it seems we are in a season of fake people being apprehended. So you think that you're going to have your way.
until it gets to your turn.
Every day for the thief, one day for the master. So be there thinking that you would never be caught. It seems we are in that season. We are waiting.
Right.
We'll report it and talk about it right here.
Definitely, definitely. And it's quite interesting though. Well, so the doctor has been arrested, and good news to that as well. Let's see, do we have some stories here? You have to take good care of yourself because Mpox is also in Ghana. I want to see if we have some entertainment stories in here. Not all the newspapers report entertainment though, but some do. Okay, so I think that'll be it for this newspaper, that's the Daily Democrat. But yesterday, Isidwa, the plane crash that happened though.
Yeah, from India to
Gatwick, yeah. Quite sad, isn't it?
Quite sad. Quite sad. It had about close to almost 280 passengers on board. Oh my goodness. You know, the video angle, the angle of the video from whoever that took the shot, I don't know how come, I don't know what was running through their minds when they were probably they spotted something midway, like mid-air, and then decided to pull out their phones to take a shot of it. And then out of nowhere...
30 seconds.
30 seconds. There was an explosion.
But somebody left to tell the story. There's a man who was in seat 11A, and he's the only survivor as of now. Yesterday, there were some rumors that there's another survivor, but we haven't seen the other survivor. And this one in particular, we have seen. So far, he's the only survivor, and his seat number is 11A.
Oh.
Yeah. Seat number 11A. It's going to be the hottest seat number very soon, because it's sold, you know, at an expensive price. Do you want seat number 11A? It comes at an extra cost. Yes, he's the only survivor. Yeah.
Really?
So he woke up and he started running. He said he saw dead bodies
after the explosion?
Yes, so he saw dead bodies around him until he woke up, saw their dead bodies and started running. And so the ambulance was there. They took him to the hospital. So it's not like he's even paralyzed. No, he's not paralyzed.
He has no burns.
He has some bruises on him. That's it. And I don't know if seat 11A is actually close to the emergency exits, because if it is, then maybe, just maybe, it opened and threw him out. So that's why probably he survived the explosion. Yeah. Seat 11A. We are just hoping it doesn't become a Kuma Wood movie, though.
Oh, very soon. Just wait and see.
Okay. But trust the Americans to do a movie like that, because I think when the 9/11 happened in America, we saw movies like we see so many movies. When floods happened, we see it. You know, there was a man who was the only survivor on a ship. They did a movie like that. So I will not be surprised if Seat 11A becomes a movie title. Yeah,
that's true.
And it comes out and probably will be winning some Oscars and all of that.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
But definitely you'll be bringing it to trends, right?
Yes, I'll be bringing that story during trends. So in case you haven't chance on it, just wait for us to bring that your way during what's trending. All right, so let's move on to the next newspaper, and it is the Canary. Oh, their motto is what? Fair and just. Okay. Okay, so the stories that are making headway in front of the Canary newspaper are: BOG cautions Ghanaians against using unlicensed digital platform. Okay, and then we have 24-hour economy starts July 1. This is by President John Dramani Mahama. Moving on, we have economy grows 5.3% in first quarter of 2025. Exciting news, isn't it? Anyway, so the banner headline is Economist credits NPP and IMF for Ghana's economic stability. Oh, okay. You would not expect this, would you? Economist credits NPP and IMF for Ghana's economic stability. Let's move on. I don't have a problem if SC allow Mahama to run for third term. This is coming from Freddie Blay. Yes, it looks like things. But no, how would that be possible if this is supposed to be his final term? Rosalind, how would that be possible if John Dramani Mahama, this is supposed to be His Excellency Mahama's final term? Because Freddie Blay is saying that I don't have a problem if SC allow Mahama to run for
I actually watched that interview. That's his feeling. Maybe for him, John Mahama is doing something good.
Something good, yeah.
Again, maybe for him, he feels, okay, if he goes on the ballot sheet, it depends on what Ghanaians want. Yeah. Maybe he wants to be the best candidate for the NDC at that time. And so Ghanaians might not vote for him. So the SC decided, or maybe it's going to Supreme Court, and Supreme Court ruling that he can contest for a third term might not necessarily mean that he will become a president. He will continue as for the third time. Yeah. You see, and people contest what is in the Constitution. Some people say that, it says that 8 successive years. It doesn't say that 8 years and leave it hanging. So if it's 8 successive years, and that's the conversation that people are having. If it's 8 successive years, he hasn't done 8 successive years. He's done the first 4 years, and he's now doing another 4 years. So which one is the successive? Is it that he's here, first 4 years, he goes and comes back? So now some people feel, okay, go to Supreme Court for interpretation. And so if Supreme Court interprets it and says, okay, looking at what it is, it doesn't mean that he's done 8 years, because it's not successive. But it's been just, 4 years, break, 4 years. So it's now that we make it a successive 8 years that he can run for the third time.
And would he? Do you think he would?
I don't know. I don't know, because, you see, one thing about power is you can't look at somebody and say that because of this person's persona, the person cannot be power drunk. I can't say that. Anything is possible. He could be one person who says, listen, I've run 8 years. I'm okay. I've ruled for 8 years. I'm okay. I don't want to do this again. We
could even say a lot about, 10 years?
Yeah.
Because he did about 2 years after former president.
Yes, exactly. So he'll say, I have done it. I don't want to do it again. And so I'm stepping down. Somebody else should take over. But then again, you can also have him say, listen, or even Ghanaians. Some Ghanaians say, he's been so good. Yeah. He's what we've always wanted, what we've cried for, because probably in 2028, we've seen a turnaround. Right. And so please, President John Dramani Mahama, can you go again? And it could be a citizen who will go and petition the Supreme Court and say, Supreme Court, we need an interpretation on this. If you tell us that he can go again, because we Ghanaians want him for another term, then they can decide on it. So it's dicey here. So I can't say if he will want to go again or not.
Okay, very interesting. Okay, so we have, continuing on the front page of the Canary newspaper, no legal breach in KGL. This is an LA deal, and then only Mahama can reset Ghana. This is from Kwame PNM. I mean, they have started on a very, very good note. Ghanaians seem to be highly impressed and highly optimistic about the future. So let's just see what will happen. Okay, and then we have the next newspaper, the Daily Gist. The Daily Gist is the next newspaper. The banner headline, 22 busted in 500 million Ghana cedi NSS ghost names fraud. And, okay, we'll read some more into that. Let's move on. We have government defense sacking of 18 generals. Okay, so in relation to the NSS ghost name saga, we have photos of Esibe Enchi, Gifty Owari Mensah, and Kwame A.
So I think that there was a time that they said, Kwame A. actually said that there were people that actually, came to him to try to kill the NSS story, if you've heard about it. So I think that is why his picture has popped up. Yeah. So if you're seeing his picture today, it's just because he did say, and it's not like somebody else said it, he did say that he was approached with an offer. And that is why we are seeing Kwame A+. So investigations are ongoing. We'll definitely get to the bottom of it.
Okay. We have Amidu punches OSP again. And then Mahama backtracks on closure of 64 radio stations. Now, I heard they've been given about 30 days to do the needful. And then the last story on the front page, we have stop using fake doctor title. Okay, so Rashid Tanko is trending again. And he's made his way.
They still haven't left
into
him?
into another newspaper 2 days after the interview on Prime Morning with Rosalind. So it says, stop using fake doctor title, Tanko computer told. Okay. Very interesting. And that's it for the newspapers that I have before me. Rosalind, what do you have?
All right, I have the Chronicle newspaper, and the Chronicle says KGL NLA contracts is the best since establishment of NLA. Nurses demanding 588 million Ghana cedis funeral allowance from government. Well, there's a question. Don't worry at all. We'll be asking this question when they take their seat. Edu Chum's educational exploits recognized in Los Angeles. Congratulations to the former Minister for Education. Ecclesiastes chapter 5, verse 10. He who loves money will not be satisfied with money, nor he who loves wealth with his income. This is also vanity. Nurses demanding 588 million Ghana cedis funeral allowance from government. Ecclesiastes chapter 5, verse 10.
They're trying to say it's vanity upon vanity. My goodness.
I didn't say it. This is what the Chronicle newspaper I say. I didn't say it. Anyway, do you have any newspapers?
No, that's
all right.
I'm
So let's
done.
do the Daily Graphic newspaper, which is our final newspaper. OSP conducts search on SML. State enterprises must sign performance contracts. SIGA says so. And President intervenes in radio stations closure. Ministry gives 30-day ultimatum. And talking about this, yesterday, over 60 radio stations had to be shut down. Now, two surprising ones are big. Asasa Radio and Wontumi Radio. Gabi Ochredako took to social media to say, yes, it's true. They actually delayed payment, in renewal of license. However, they did pay in December, but they still got closed. Yes, so you're supposed to pay. So if you're supposed to pay in August and you go and pay in December, you still defaulted. Hello?
Because you paid earlier.
No, he paid late. He was supposed to have paid in
August last year.
No, I don't remember the time. Let me see if I can get it for you guys.
Okay.
So this is what Gabi Ochredako said.
Clear on this.
Yes, we have to be clear on it. So this is what Gabi Ochredako had to say with regards to it. He said that, yes, it's true. Asasa Radio, which celebrates its 5th anniversary Saturday, has been shut down. GM informs me it's because the station delayed in renewing its license last year. It was supposed to be renewed by October, but was done in December. So they were supposed to have renewed it October 2024, and they renewed it December 2024.
So there was still a delay.
Yeah.
And there was still the need
to
bring out their names as part of those who have faulted.
No, it wasn't brought names, it was shut.
Yeah, no, it was shut.
Yes.
So, and although they paid in December, they did not go into the system that they had paid regardless.
They delayed.
So because of the delay, they still had to be shut, although they are still paid.
Yeah.
Okay, very interesting.
Yeah, but the president has intervened.
Okay.
So now they have a 30 days grace period to make things right so that they don't come after you again. And so Wontumi Radio, for me, it was not even about the companies, but the people who work there. I was worried, very, very worried, because see, when it happens like this, sometimes we think it's political, but let's look at the number of people that work in these institutions that probably even went to cast their votes for you. When the banking crisis happened, guess what? So many people that got affected voted for the MPP at that time. Yet they lost their livelihoods. You know what I mean? And so when these things are happening, we ought to take into consideration a greater thing than just a political thing. Maybe it's not political too. Maybe it's not. Maybe genuinely they ought to be shut down because they are not following the regulations.
Okay.
Maybe. There are a lot of maybes.
Maybe.
So do you want us to take a look at the video?
I think we should.
Yes.
At this point, we should.
Yes, so that people understand. But like we said, it's maybe. Maybe it's not as political as you think.
Yeah.
Maybe genuinely, they really had to get shut because you and I don't know what rules or regulations they flouted. Take a look at the video.
George and his urgent statement on the floor of the House ruled out any form of political witch hunt in the closure of the 62 radio stations. According to him, these radio stations have engaged in varied infractions ranging from operating without licenses and some operating with expired licenses.
Group 1, 28 FM radio stations who are currently operating with expired authorizations. Despite the NCA instructing these stations to cease operations in 2024, several of the stations have continued broadcasting unlawfully. These actions constitute a violation of Section 2.4 of the Electronic Communications Act 2008. Group 2, 14 FM stations, which were issued notices of revocation for failure to establish operations within the required 2-year period following the grant of their authorizations. These stations later requested technical inspections but have not completed the process and have continued to broadcast. Group 3, 13 FM stations which applied for authorization to continue operating and have been issued provisional authorization but have not settled the provisional authorization fees in full. The last group of stations that we took action on this morning are 7 FM stations who have paid their provisional authorization fees but have not yet received final authorization in fulfillment of the technical and regulatory requirements under Regulation 54 of LI 1911.
He then made the big announcement that the President, John Mahama, has directed that all of these stations be given a 30-day amnesty to correct these infractions.
Mr. Speaker, a few minutes ago, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, the President, directed that the Ministry of Communications, Digital Technology and Innovation work with the regulator, the NCA, to allow all the affected radio stations some additional time to correct the identified breaches within a defined time frame. Those who fail to do so shall have their authorizations formally revoked under the law. In line with this directive from His Excellency the President, the Ministry and the NCA have granted a further 30-day grace period to all defaulting entities.
The matter then degenerated into a political conversation. The minority leader, Alexander Apenyo-Markin, for instance, dug into the archives of Parliament and pulled out the position of the now communications minister, who was then a ranking member on the communications committee's position on the same issue when it came up under the previous government. He established strongly that some of these stations, for instance, the Wontumi media, have been targeted by government.
Mr. President, clemency is a belated thing. It's because of the public backlash. I would want the NCA and the ministry to be strongly guided by Article 296 of the 1992 Constitution. If yesterday we were allowed on the rooftops that it is not good to suspend or shut down, then today let us maintain the same principle and say that we would rather have an administrative engagement. Why should Asase Radio be denied the opportunity to broadcast? Why? Why will Wontumi be denied opportunity? Why is Wontumi suffering? Why is Wontumi suffering? Why is Wontumi suffering? What has Wontumi done? What at all has Wontumi done?
And as for His Excellency the President, I'm surprised that you will say that he is being magnanimous because of public backlash. When did the suspensions take place? And when did that public backlash occur that I sitting here haven't heard? When did that public backlash occur? The suspension occurred at what time of the day? At 10 a.m. this morning. And the clemency came at 12. Within 2 hours, who could have exercised such public backlash that His Excellency the President will be magnanimous to the extent that he is being?
The Communications Minister, Sam George, has urged all these radio stations to take advantage of the 30-day amnesty to correct the infractions to prevent a total shutdown after the expiration of the ultimatum. From Parliament House here in Accra, I am James Savage for Joy News.
Committee. We're joined by the majority.
And you're still watching Prime Morning. And so, whenever we come your way, let me move a little bit because this conversation is going to get interesting. Anyway, so we come your way with what happens, with regards to time. You just watched what happened yesterday when the Minister for Communications had to say about the radio stations that got shut down. But now they have 30 days grace period. Now, another institution that Ghanaians have been pleading with because they went on strike and lives were being lost, they are that important to us, whether you like it or not. Now, that's the nurses that we have in Ghana. In times of emergency, you don't have anybody else than these nurses that will save your lives. And so when they decided to go on a strike, we were suffering. We pleaded with them. Government has finally had a sit down with them. And so today we have great people joining us and they are leaders from this fraternity. Now let me introduce my 3 guests who are seated with me and they are representing the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association. I have with me Solomon Ajao, who is the Regional Secretary for Greater Accra Region, on behalf of the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association. Hello, Solomon.
Hi, good morning.
How are you? Good morning.
I'm fine.
You joined us on Zoom was it Monday or Tuesday?
I think on Monday.
It was Monday, right?
Yeah.
Finally meeting you in person.
Yeah, good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Great.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And we have our only female who is also seated here, and she's in the person of Diana Nyarko. She is a midwife at Shari Osoduku District, right? Is it Shai?
Shai.
Shai? Oh
Yes.
my God, forgive me, Shai. Forgive me. Forgive me.
You forgive it.
All right, Dinah, welcome.
Thank you.
Right. And also we have another man joining. I like the fact that you are wearing your fabric, proudly on a Friday. Yeah. He's in the person of Stanley Fifi Adakwe, and he's a mental health coordinator at Shai, also Osudoku.
Shai Osudoku.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much for also joining us. I hope you're doing well.
Very fine.
Great. Now, yesterday, there was a meeting between government and Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association. Let's take a look at this report, and when we come back, we'll delve into our conversation. But don't forget that you're also a part of it, and so when we activate the Zoom link, you can join us. Okay, so what I have right now is that as of now, we'll try and get the report for you pretty shortly, but then let's delve into our conversation. So the nurses have been on strike for almost 2 weeks now. Let me start the conversation with Solomon because we started a conversation on Monday, which you made us aware that although the sit-down happened in June last year, there was a hold because it went to court.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, so we had a conversation I think this Monday.
Yeah.
But let me use this opportunity to say a very good morning to your viewers, particularly the nurses and midwives who are watching us in Greater Accra and beyond. We started with red armbands. We declared a strike actually on 28th of May, and we started with the red armbands, withdrawal of emergencies and OPD services. And we came to a total withdrawal on Monday, on the 9th of June, and up onto it, we are here this morning. So that has been the activities. But beyond that, there have been engagements behind with stakeholders, and it's been wonderful. And we've made some significant strides, so we are building upon it.
So you're okay? Are you okay now?
Oh, not okay as in we are good to go, but we had an issue where we are expecting our mother ministry that we could resolve it because we've been at it with them. Like I said, the approval was given last year, 2024, May, which implementation was expected to start in July, 1st of...
Oh, it was July, rather.
July.
Okay.
Yeah. So within that space, a section of our people, splinter group, took us to court, put an injunction on the implementation. We dragged us to about December, which was resolved. So the court adopted the out-of-court settlement and became a law. We went back to the ministry. Here is a case, like I'm still insisting, or we've been insisting, we are not dealing with government, we are dealing with our employer. As for the employers, they don't change. Governments come in, others will go. So government changes, but the employer does not change. The sector is still there.
Okay.
So all the people that we negotiated with, who were part of the negotiation, are still in office. So we went back to them and we were like, we are done with our court issues. We've resolved it. And we were told, there has been a change of government. Why don't we hold on to have a sector minister appointed? We waited. He was appointed. We met with him. He said his doors are open. We met. We engaged him. We said, okay, let's wait for budget to be read. It was read in March. We went back again in April. He said, don't worry. We'll still engage. Let's keep. So it's one promise and the other. Only for us to be told that we're not actually factored in the 2025 budget. I mean, it hurts.
Just painful to hear, right?
Exactly, because we negotiated our condition of service with other people, other groups in the same health industry. They are enjoying whatever they negotiated for. Here we are, no fault of ours, our own, granted, let's say our own internal issues brought us this far. We've resolved it. We were timely to inform you of the feedback, and nothing was done. So, I mean, for us as nurses and midwives, we felt that it's an unfair treatment from our employers. So we had to engage them. Nothing, and we issued out this statement to embark on the long strike.
Okay. Now, the strike, we hear it's about to be called off. But before then, Dinah, let's clear this. There was a post on social media saying that the midwives were never a part of the strike. How true is this?
The midwives never said they were not part of the strike. You know, there are breakaway groups, and everybody's entitled to join the group that they would want. But then let's not forget that the Mother Association is the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association. They hold the bargaining certificates, and they bargain for everybody. Nurses, midwives, mental health nurses, community health nurses, all nurses and midwives in Ghana. So if there is a breakaway group and they have decided not to fight a common goal with the Mother Association, then that is their business. They claimed they were not part of the strike, but majority of them were at home, never went to work, because we were all seeking for one thing, for our cause to be implemented, and that was that.
And right now, are you okay? Because we heard yesterday that the leadership has met with government. Now, let's talk about some of the things that you requested for, which I think is fair, that Ghanaians get to know. The things that the midwives were requesting for, just so that they could have, it's more or less like better conditions of service. And everybody, when you're working, you actually, you know, looking for better conditions of service. They were looking for a 13th month salary, fuel and medical allowance, rural incentive allowance, renewal of practicing a license, and uniforms for the striking health workers. And anything else I left out that you were asking for?
Yes. When you look at the condition of service, we listed about 8 items.
Okay.
For government to consider for us. So we have the book and research allowance for our colleagues who are teaching in the training colleges and that's of the universities to be paid their book and research allowance. We talk about uniform allowance, that is already in the system for us, but the appreciable rate is what we are requesting.
You wanted an increase.
Yes, and we talk about the full allowance for the people who are already taking as well. We talk about on-call facilitation allowance. We talk about rural incentive. Nursing and midwifery service is not limited to the cities alone. We have majority of our people accepting posting to go into the rural communities.
Areas, yeah.
Yes. So when you go there, this nurse or midwife is a doctor, is a pharmacist, is a record staff. We play a lot of roles there. So what we are saying is those who find themselves in such areas should be compensated because they are not having access to good schools. They are not having access to social amenities. Maybe after this show, you can invite me. Let's go to KFC.
So do they receive the same incentives as those in, not those who are not in rural areas?
So what we are saying is that I'm working in Accra.
Yeah.
So we have a basic salary for all nurses.
Yeah.
But for those who find themselves in the rural areas, we are saying that they should be given some compensation.
No, and I'm asking that as it stands now, those in rural areas and urban areas, are they receiving?
They are receiving the same salary.
So they don't have anything special?
No, nothing at all.
Right. Okay. All right. So if we have the video ready, maybe we should play the video for everybody to see it as well. So is that a video? Can we play the video for people to see, please? All right, so let me come back into the studio and, for you, we just want to know, the agreement so far, were you part of the discussion?
Yesterday.
Were you part of the discussion with the government yesterday?
I was there.
You were the one who was there. Okay, before then, let me ask him, because he hasn't spoken at all. So you also, were you happy when your leadership decided to go for the strike?
Thank you for the opportunity. I'd like to say that it is not in our best interest or as a nurse happy to go on strike because of the profession and what we sign up for, taking care of lives of patients. But it was necessary, and it was a necessary thing that our leadership had to take. And we, of course, we are in full support of it.
You're in full support of it. All right. And yesterday you did hear that your leadership had sat down with government and they are calling off the strike. They are asking you to go back to work. Do you know what has been agreed on? I wouldn't say that
there's any official information calling it off yet.
Okay.
But what we know is that whatever discussion went on with government yesterday was very was good. And we are hoping something will come out. So we are waiting for the official communique from the national. GRNMA has structures, so we are working with those structures. So currently, no official communique has come out that we are calling off the strike. Until that comes on, then we can. So I cannot say anything else.
Okay. So I'm seeing a communique that came out June. I think this is June 12, right? 2025. Progress on conditions of service, a victory for constructive dialogue. I'm struggling a bit to read this one, but my eyes are good. My eyes are good. The leadership of the Union of Professional Nurses and Midwives, that is UPNMG, the Professional Association of Psychiatric Nurses, PAPNG, the Ghana Registered Midwives Association, GRMA, and the National Association of Registered, my eyes are doing me shakara, although I'm 25 years. My eyes are doing, it's a bit faint. So it's a bit faint.
Yeah, I get it.
So I'm trying to, do you have the original one?
We didn't issue out the statement.
Okay, so let me read what has been issued from here. Okay, but it says it's a collaborative thing. Association of Registered Midwives Nurse Ghana, NARMG, are pleased to announce that meaningful progress has been made in the ongoing engagement regarding the conditions of service for nurses and midwives. These gains are the result of our unions' unwavering commitment to dialogue, collaboration, and professionalism. Throughout this period, we have chosen to engage constructively with the government and stakeholders while ensuring continuity of care for the public. Our approach has reaffirmed our convictions that sustainable outcomes are best achieved through negotiations rather than confrontations. We express our heartfelt appreciation to all members who remained at post, served with courage, and upheld the highest ideals of our profession. Your dedication has brought credibility to our cause and played a critical role in securing these achievements. In light of the progress made and in the interest of the national healthcare delivery, we respectfully call on the leadership of the GRNMA to call all striking staff to return to work. This is the time to unite our efforts, protect the integrity of our profession, and demonstrate to the nation that nurses and midwives stand for both advocacy and responsibility. Further updates will be communicated to all members. We urge continued calm, unity, and vigilance as leadership continues to engage. Thank you. Have you seen this, Solomon?
I saw it yesterday, and it's funny to say that they were not at the decision table. These are the splinter groups that we're talking about. The meeting was called at the instance of the Parliamentary Select Committee on Health, and they invited the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association, the Fair Wages and Salary Commission, the Ministry of Health, and Finance. They were not invited. And when you read their statement carefully, they are now making an appeal to the Mother Association to reconsider its stance and position in calling off the strike. So they themselves know that when it comes to the decision, they are not involved.
Okay.
You understand? And when we were fighting or we were pushing for the full implementation, and we had engaged the ministry at every point in time, we gave feedback to our members. They were also giving feedback. And we decided, no, we have gotten to our wit end. What do? There's only one language that the government hears. So let's try and stimulate the system and see what the outcome. They said no. And even for their members that they said they were opposed. I mean, you saw what the reports were out there.
So who are they?
They are also nurses and midwives. Let me just say, they are also our colleagues. We sat in class with some of them. Some of them are my colleagues.
So what's the difference between them and you?
I should say that initially we had just one association.
Okay.
For whatever reason, they decided to form their own. And because of the freedom of association, by law, 2 people can form an association. So they decided to withdraw their membership from our association to form theirs. And that is all we have. So with that, we have about 4 or 5 of them. That's the UPNMG, the NAMG, the Ghana Registered Midwife Association, and that of the National Association of the Midwife.
Okay. So those of you that went on strike, you are not a part of this group?
No, we are not part.
Okay. So when you went to meet the government, who were in the meeting?
And that's what I mentioned. We had the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwife Association.
But they are issuing a statement that they have had negotiations with the government.
If I mean,
yes, please come in.
I will use this medium to hammer something to all nurses and midwives, if they are listening to me. It's rather unfortunate. I mean, we all have our differences. But when it comes to a common goal that we are all striving for, I want to plead with everybody that let's all come together. Things of this nature gives the employer opportunity to do what they do. The employer will always look for his or his interest. We should look for ours. It's a shame that the strike had to come this long. But I will encourage and appeal to every nurse and midwife, irrespective of you being GRNA member, being UPMG, whoever. This condition of service is for all of us. Please, let's all join together. Next time, if the opportunity like this comes again, look at what you benefit. Do not listen to what your leaders are saying. Because at the end of the day, it is our needs that are important. Thank you very much.
Okay.
But let me just say that when you look at the total membership of nurses and midwives, we are hovering around 126,000.
Yeah.
And GRNMA is having a little over 100,000.
Right.
So you can just look at the difference in terms of the impact. That is why when we declared the strike, look at what it brought the system to a halt.
Okay.
It's not something that we pride ourselves with, but it's something that we want the people to appreciate what nurses and midwives does in the country, that we cannot be taken for granted. Our welfare should also be a priority to our policy makers.
Okay.
That is.
So now the meeting has been held.
Yes.
What transpired in the meeting? Do you mind telling us?
Maybe I'll tell you off air.
No, but you have to know. You're here.
Okay. So let me just say that we had a fruitful meeting, and we are very appreciative of Parliament for coming out to listen to us. By non-partisan position taken by the Select Committee, we had both MPP and DC. We had a fruitful discussion. You could see their posture that they want the issue resolved. Mm-hmm. We had our mother ministry also seated at the meeting. We had Fair Wages and Salary Commission seated at the meeting. And trust me, the discussion was fruitful.
Okay.
And it calmed nerves. So having said that, we use structures to communicate. That is why if you ask your reporters that were there yesterday, we didn't speak to any of them.
Okay.
So even the Select Committee themselves couldn't make any pronouncements whether the strike has been called off or it's been suspended or it's ongoing. But they left it for the leadership of the association to decide, based on good faith. So we also met as leadership. And this morning we are expected to issue a statement.
Okay.
Which once we get, I'll share a copy with you.
Okay.
But I would say that it's something that will calm the nerves.
Okay.
You'll be smiling, I'll also be smiling.
Okay.
And our
so
people
an
out
agreement has been reached.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's good.
Yes, that's good. That one I'll say.
And so far the agreement is good for you?
Yes, it's good. It's good. It's good.
Are you sure your members will be happy?
Yes, I can confidently say that.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
But for this action that we took, we all heard the Deputy Minister talking about 2026 budget. We heard the Minister for Health saying 2026. But this time around, it's not going to be 2026. Is that not the case? So at least we meet each other halfway.
All right.
And it's good to for our members. I would say that.
Dinah.
Yeah.
She's smiling. So
She's smiling.
I'm smiling.
Do you know the details of it?
Smiling.
Do you already know about it?
I don't have the details.
Okay.
But I know that it's good.
Okay.
At least we are not waiting till 2026. We're not holding the country to ransom to say that implement everything now. That's not what we were saying. We're just saying, sign the documents, sit down, let's have a conversation. Let's look at how we are going to implement it gradually. Mm-hmm. Those were our demands.
Right, okay, so it was a gradual process.
Yes.
Right, okay.
We are in Ghana. We know how the economy is. We are here. We have not gone anywhere. We are still Ghanaians. Mm-hmm. We know what is happening. We understand that Mr. President said he needed time, the economy was bad, he needed to reset and all. But then, we just said, this is long overdue. We have given you time from December. January, February, March, April, May. We've been going back and forth with this course. Sign the documents. Let's sit down and plan, okay, how are we going to make sure this works for the nurse and the midwife who is breaking his or her back for Ghanaians? Mm-hmm. Then you say we're not captured in the budget, and so 2026. That was so unfair a statement to make. But we are happy now. At least Parliament and our leadership have come up with something. Mm-hmm. And we know that we're all going to be happy at the end of the day.
Are you going to be happy for good? Or it's going to be, an interim happiness and you might call on another strike if, something is not done again?
Like we said, every information, every communication comes from our leadership.
But it's a suspension, we are not calling it, if anything.
Oh, so it's a suspension?
If anything, because for the question you asked,
Dinah.
Yes, because you said if nothing is done.
Yeah.
Are we going to
I said if you don't get what you're looking for.
Obviously,
you
will
go back
come
on strike.
Yes, of course.
So this is just, a strike. You're calling it off on suspension because
we haven't called anything.
You haven't called it off yet?
No official.
I said I'll share the statement with you.
Please.
It should be out by 8 o'clock.
You still, why are you so, insistent on it not being called?
Because information is, has a way of people disseminating information. current, as we start, there's no official information communique from national.
Right.
We take directive from our national.
Okay.
And they have not come out to say they are suspending the strike or they are totally calling it off. However, like my regional secretary said, he said the engagement yesterday was very fruitful, and possibly there might be a possibility, what we are all thinking. But until that communique comes out, we are not saying we have called any strike or suspending any strike.
Okay.
Until that one comes
Until
out.
that one.
That is what I just want to put
Okay, all right. But will you be happy if it's called off?
Of course, if it's called off and we each party we get what we want, of course.
Okay.
Because we made it clear to the government. We are not happy about the strike.
Yeah.
Implement it, like just as my colleague just said. The implementation, a lot of things goes into it. We are not, all the 8 things that we tabled that they were agreed on last year. We're not saying government implement everything.
Yeah.
But some of them are very doable. Let's look at it.
Which ones are doable to you?
The P&I renewal is very doable. The fuel allowance for our senior colleagues are very doable. The 8%, 8% on our basic salary is doable. Some of the condition of service, what we ask are annually.
Okay.
They are not monthly.
Like the 13th month?
Yes, like the 13th month. Some are annually. So it's doable. Look at, we know that the government cannot meet us. We are aware, but meet us halfway. But when you go on air and you speak to the point of saying you are going to bring retired nurses, using other media house purport wrong information.
Were you upset when the minister said that?
We were very upset. Trust me, we were very, because it was like an insult. I mean, if the public has to know, these retired midwives or nurses are members of GRNMA. And if you need to know, some of them, the association is supporting them with health support.
Okay.
Some of them are having, we go home, they're having cancer, they're having back issues. We are supporting them. So the same association is supporting them. So if you are calling them to come for strike, to come and, come and work, how is that going to be possible? It's not possible. And if as a nation, at this point where we've gotten to 60-something years of independence, and we have a trivial issue like this, we cannot solve.
You think it's trivial?
Of course it is, because the issue was signed, agreed. It was a matter of implementing.
Right.
So it's the issue of just communicating. If you had an issue, just let us know, let us understand. We are very understanding people.
Right.
Let us understand. But keeping us at the loop and later you come and make all these things, it will not help. It will not help.
Okay, so finally you're happy. So there's something in the newspapers, I don't know how true this is. Please help us out.
Okay.
There's a question. Are nurses demanding 588 million Ghana cedis funeral allowance from government?
No. No. It's no. You see, this is some of the misleading and misinformation that is being churned out, and it's making nurses and midwives look bad in the eyes of the public. When you look at the condition of service that was negotiated, we have Appendix A and Appendix B. Appendix A are things for all public sector workers. So the funeral grants and all those things that is mentioned in here, acting allowance, overtime allowance, height and depth allowance,
school allowance,
traveling allowance, is for everyone working in the public health sector. Being it a teacher, being it a nurse, being it a doctor, it's category 2 and 3 allowances for all public sector workers. Ours are the specifics that we listed, the 8 items that we shared with you.
Okay.
So for someone to ask of foreign trip allowance, food allowance, it's for the general public sector workers.
Okay.
So it's not only for nurses and midwives. It goes for a doctor or a pharmacist or a teacher, whoever is working in the public sector.
Okay. Fantastic. Anyway, so our Zoomers are joining us this morning for the conversation, and we have our very first Zoomer, Master Planner. Good morning.
Hello, good morning, Aja Rosalie.
Good morning, how are you?
I'm good by God's grace. How about you?
I'm fine, thank you. And the nurses seem to be happy. We are waiting to hear from them officially as to whether they are going to be calling off the strike or not. We've been pleading with them, though. We hope that they do listen to us. They are here. I'll be going on my knees to plead with them.
Yes. It's very, very true. Because currently, I'm crying for the pregnant women. The people are even feeling much bitter for them, because if you are pregnant now, you are going to the hospital. Who is going to take care of you? You know, that's probably 2 people you are going to take care of, or even 3 if they are twins. So it's very, very worrying. The midwives, we are pleading with them, and then the nurses too. If you have headache or stomach pains, I saw one of the videos, viral videos. One woman was crying that she went to the hospital with her husband who was suffering from asthma. And then the nurses were seated. They couldn't attend to the man. The nurses, it's not their wish to begin that. I know some of them will go home and cry on their beds. They don't will, or that's not their willingness. They went to training colleges, universities to be trained to come and save lives. So they will not intentionally sit to watch somebody die. I know that nurse, perhaps we have to even take her to the psychiatrist or to get some counseling. It might be hunting that person. It's not it's not good. The government should please listen to their call and then do whatever they want. If you can't do all for them, just assure them, mid-year budget will put in this and that. Then next year, 2026, we'll fulfill the rest of the promises. There are 8 promises, as he said. You can do 4 in the mid-year budget and then do the rest of the 4 in the 2026 budget. Right. I think that will be somehow.
That'll be fair, right?
Yeah, pleading with them. Please listen to the cry of Ghanaians and then go back to work. Wishing them all the best.
Thank you so much for joining us, Master Planner. We are grateful. So, Ghanaians are pleading on your behalf. Are you happy with regards to the response from Ghanaians?
Oh, I think just as it stated, Ghanaians are pleading, and through their representative. That's why we heeded to the call of Parliament.
Yeah. Fantastic. Malik is joining us. Hey, good morning. Malika, Malika, good morning. Can you hear me? Please unmute yourself for me, okay?
Yes.
How are you?
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good.
Great. Talk to us.
Yes. In fact, I say good morning to your panelists there, the health workers that we have on your platform. In fact, it's something that everybody in Ghana is not happy with the strike. But sometimes, before we criticize certain people in Ghana, we sometimes have to also come to understanding and then realize some of the things that they are looking for. Yeah. I think for me, my family, everybody around me is a health worker. My younger sisters, my brothers, and then all that, they are all health workers, and they are all enjoying the strike. But some of the issues that I want to highlight here is that, looking at it, some of the politicians, some of the benefits that they take is alarming, is not good. But looking at the health workers too, in fact, the time they are asking for all these benefits that they are asking for, in fact, we are at a time that we have a new government in office. We have, let's say, a lot of issues that is going on in the country. The economy is picking up, and we were expecting them to exercise patience for now, so that maybe by the close of the year or next year, beginning next year, they can come in with certain conditions of service. But for now, the economy is picking up, and the government is concentrating on a lot of issues right now. But sometimes we don't know. Ghana is a country that, looking at certain things or some of the benefits that these politicians and CEOs are benefiting, in fact, our health workers and other public sector workers, in fact, it's a shame some of the salaries that you hear that these center workers are
So they
enjoying.
deserve better. Right. All right. Thank you so much, Nalika, for joining us. We are grateful. When you join us, kindly mute the volume on your television set so you don't get a feedback, and then we can have a good conversation. And also, mute yourself. When we pick you, then you unmute yourself for us to have a conversation. Now, talking about, today my Zoomers are really joining. Hello, good morning, Nab.
Enjoying the show. Enjoying the show.
Hi, Nab. Good morning. How are you?
Rosalind.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Great.
Hope everything is fine.
Doing fantastic this morning. Talk to us.
We thank God. We thank God. I will also join in to appeal to the nurses and midwifery to also, or the midwives to also go back to work. We really appreciate the work that they're doing, and rightfully, what they are also demanding is legitimate. And I believe that, of course, the communication from the government side didn't go well. And I also will entreat the government side to also find a way of also communicating, if perhaps they have to do a refresher course in terms of communication. Because if you've been negotiating, especially when the nurses have come to you on several occasions, drawing your attention to the fact that this is what is outstanding that has to be done, and you promise them that it will be done, only to be told that it wasn't captured in the budget, I think that alone isn't a sign of good faith. So I will still urge them to go back and save lives as they have sworn to do. And I will use this opportunity to also thank the government and the members of parliament, because yesterday the Parliamentary Select Committee met them, and I believe as their representatives over there said that they had a very fruitful deliberation, which suggests that any moment from now they could call off their strike. I believe that this constructive dialogue is better, rather than using the court system to coerce them to go back to work. When they go, they can also go, and then after the 10 days or so, they will go back to strike, which I don't think it will help. So with this dialogue, it's the best way to go. And I would wish everyone well, especially I know Fair Wages is also doing a good job behind the scenes. So I want to thank you all.
Thank you very much.
Finally,
Thank you, Nab. Oh, Nab is saying something. If he can just quickly, yes. Please allow him. Yes.
My rituals, my usual rituals. I need to say good morning.
Please, yes. That's why I had to bring you back.
Brighter Sylvie Kumi. Honorable Brighter Sylvie Kumi, who is also coming for the National First Vice Chairmanship position of the New Patriotic Party, and also Oti Charles Otin, who is coming for the Greater Accra Regional Assistant Secretary. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Nab. Have a wonderful time. All right, so our next Zoomer, good morning. Hello? Christian, can you hear me?
Good morning. Yes, sir. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Oh, by His grace, I'm doing well.
Great. Talk to us.
Yes, this one is just life and death issues. It's not politics. So we just want to appeal to our nurses to go back and save lives. They should just ignore all the political commentary and then please come to the aid of Ghanaians. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Christian, for joining. We are very grateful. Now, talking about the life and death matter, you're in the media, so you heard. You're not in the media saying what I do.
Oh, yes.
But I mean, you read. You heard about lives lost. How did you feel? Let me start with you, Dinah.
To start with, we've never been happy to go on strike. And when comments like, because nurses and midwives are not there, patients are dying, are made, I get taken aback a bit. Because the health system is not just nurses and midwives. It's a collaborative effort to save patients. So if the nurse or the midwife is not around, there are doctors, there are PAs, the lab scientists are still working, anesthetists who are very good at managing emergencies are also still working. So to put the blame on the nurse and the midwife and say that because we are not there, patients are dying, that I do not agree with them. We are sad.
Okay.
That this has happened. We are very sad.
So you think that the others took advantage of your not being there, not taking care of the patients?
I cannot really say that.
But it's possible.
Well, it might be.
It's possible. Because from what you're saying, if nurses are on strike, we still should not have lives being lost because nurses are on strike. Is that what it is?
Relatively. We play a significant role in the health industry.
Right.
And when you approaching the job, you say that majority of the work is done by a nurse or a midwife. So I don't want to say it's fair to make such a comment. It's just unfair to put the blame on us.
Okay.
Yes, but like she said, we work in a team. So you expect your team to be there to win the match for you. So if one person is not pulling their weight, you want to say, oh, but you can't say because you are not there. We've had people, 9 players winning a football match. So it should be possible for them to also hold the fort, even though if we are there, we'll be complementing each other for a greater success.
Right, okay. So,
but I want to...
I'll come back to you. Don't worry at all. I want to speak with Fake Up. Hello, Fake Up.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning, Fake Up. How are you?
I'm doing good, and you in the studio.
We are doing well. Talk to us.
Thank you. I want to extend my blessings to your panelists this morning, and then they are doing a great job by putting this matter in its right perspective. I think the fight they are fighting is not for the current generation of nurses, but for the generation yet to come. Assuming that the previous generation has fought for us, I don't think we'll be where we are today.
Exactly.
And we also want to appeal that we should put all things aside and then look at our client that we serve and then see what we can do for them. As for the government has already taken certain stance that were not in the best interest of the nurse, that we can't dispute. And that we are urging the government to also do it bit by coming midway so that at least we meet at a particular corner so that where everybody will be comfortable, so that it will benefit the general. Other than that, nobody take joy in this whole that is ongoing. So we are just pleading with the government to also consider, because it is so ridiculous to hear that these conditions of service were not covered under the budget, because this is the condition of service that is older than even the government of the day. And it's even older than the minister is himself. And the budget itself, the condition of service is older than the budget. So how come, if the government was really serious about this condition of service and the welfare of nurses in general, to have captured this in the budget? And they are not even ashamed to even put it out that it was not captured, as if there is enough grounds to give that. How can you prioritize economic figures as against the health and well-being of the nurses and the entire general public? It is ridiculous to have reached this point.
All right,
and I think that the government come close and let's discuss this issue passionately, the better for all of us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Fake Up. We are grateful. Yes, you wanted to say something, Solomon?
Yes, I'll just do.
I have another Zoomer.
Okay, so let's pick.
Let me pick this person, and right after that, I'll come to you, Solomon. Yes. Hello. Hello. All right, let me come to the studio.
So what I was going to say is that Ghanaians are pleading with us, but they should add their voice to our call for government to do what is right for nurses and midwives. We are not asking that much. We are not asking for luxury, as someone wants to put it. We just want to enhance our conditions that we are working with, our livelihood, the things that will propel us to do what is right. You can't go to work when your home is not right. I mean, you don't have the right mind to work with. You are not in the right.
I like that one that you're saying. There have been a few complaints from some people, Ghanaians, saying that when you go to the hospitals, some nurses who don't treat them right, they frowned, they are screaming on them and all of that. The midwives, some of them are using canes on the pregnant women and all. Could it be because of the condition of service, so some of them are frustrated?
No, you have to work in a conducive environment, and it goes beyond just the physical environment. Your mental health is very significant here. So when you come in and you are not in the right frame of mind, we call it presenteeism. I'll be present, but I'll not be active.
Okay, so probably that's the reason why we've been.
Yes, so you need to.
It's a contributing factor.
Yes, I mean you can't take it away. In a healthy workplace environment, you must consider all these factors.
All right, good. Samuel, good morning.
Good morning, Rosalind.
How are you? How are you, Samuel?
Hello.
Okay, so lower the volume on your television set so that we can have a good conversation, okay?
Okay. Good morning, Reverend.
So lower the volume now. Now unmute yourself for us. Samuel?
Yeah?
Yes, good. Now we can talk. How are you?
Yeah, please, I'm fine. And you?
I'm fine, thank you. Talk to us.
Yeah, on this matter, well, I think we are pleading with the government that there is a saying in Tree. There is this proverb in Tree that you say, "Ebida wanuma otutumbia ebene." So if even you cannot do all at a go, at least just try immediately do about 2 or 3 so that they will know that at least the government is also doing to prevent the strike, because people's lives are also in danger. You get me? So I think for now, we are pleading with the government, as I earlier said, that you should try and do something for them so that they can get back to work, so that there will not be loss of lives in the country. So that's what.
Thank you so much,
I think
Samuel. Thank you very much for joining us on Zoom. We are grateful. So the police are coming in, and we are hoping that before the close of day today, the statement that will be released by the leadership of Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association will urge, the nurses to call off the strike. So you are joining us, but you don't have a name on there, and your phone is an Infinix. Good morning.
Good morning, Rosalind.
Good morning, my darling. How are you? What's your name?
My name is Ali.
I'm having 2 people right now. Okay, so I hear. Okay, hold on for me. Let me try and pick one person at a time. Okay, so all of you mute yourself. Please mute yourself now. Both people mute yourself. And then I'll pick one person and I'll get your name. Yusuf, I'm picking you, Yusuf. So Yusuf, you are the one to unmute. I'll come to the next person and you also unmute, okay? Thank you so much. So Yusuf.
Good morning.
Good morning, Yusuf. How are you?
I'm fine, by the grace of God. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you, Yusuf. Talk to us.
Yes. I want to thank you for giving us the opportunity to talk. I want to say that the nurses, myself I'm a nurse, and I feel so bad that you see patients in the ward and you can't go and face them. It's very bad. We are not happy that things are addressed. We never even anticipated that the strike would get to this stage. That's why we started with just wearing of red band so that if we send a signal to government that we actually want government to address our issues. But it seems that government was so adamant. So I have explained that they will say they do not capture our cost of services. I mean, they didn't capture it in the budget. It was so disheartening hearing it. And to me, it was a deliberate attempt. I wouldn't say it was a mistake, because if it were to be a mistake, the response by the deputy minister and the health minister that they cannot implement the COS this year, so that they actually intentionally remove or the intention not accept the necessary demand in the budget. And that was very sad.
All right, Yusuf.
I'm happy that the GRNO leadership and the Parliamentary Select Committee were able to meet yesterday, even though we have not communicated formally to us.
But they are telling us that you will be happy. So rest assured, you'll be happy. All right, Yusuf, thank you so much for joining. Have a wonderful time. All right, who is joining me next? Good morning. Hello? All right, so is this Infinix that I'm picking? All right, Infinix, you can unmute yourself now. Good morning. What's your name, my darling? Infinix, please unmute yourself for me, okay? If you know your phone, good. Hello?
I've done that.
Okay, now I can hear you. Good morning, my darling. What's your name?
My name is Stephen.
Stephen, good. Stephen, talk to us.
Yes. You see, where we are as a country, for me, I do not think that the government has a challenge to address what the nurses are facing. Why am I saying? From the word go, the minister came out and told us that we can go to hell. We can go to hell. He's going to bring on board the retired nurses to come and work. So my question to your panelists in your studio and the entire nursing leadership is that let us not fall for any deceit from the government. Otherwise, it is going to continue. I have realized, and I'm sure every nurse in Ghana have realized that there is no iota of respect for nurses in this country. And so if we fall for whatever they say now, that is where we are going to remain for life. Because look at what they are paying themselves.
But don't you trust your leadership? Your leadership has gone to have a negotiation. They are going to let us know before the close of day. So whatever they come out with, do you trust your leadership to negotiate right for you?
Of course, I trust my leadership.
Okay.
But the question is, the way they started, are they really going to do what we want? We have not heard from the discussion they had yesterday. I mean, we don't know what they discussed yesterday. We don't know how it ended. But I'm saying that from the way the minister started, the minister came out and spoke the mind of the government. That no, they are going to bring on board the retired nurses to come in and work in place of us, which is quite ridiculous. It was disgusting to say the least.
Yes, Stephen, I can tell that you are very upset this morning. I understand, and so right now what we'll say is that we are just hoping that your leadership, whatever negotiation they've had with the government, you'll be happy at the end of the day, okay? Thank you for joining us, Stephen. All right, so who is our next Zoomer joining? All right, so we'll be coming back on Zoom pretty shortly. I hear we have so many Zoomers who are online waiting for their turn to speak. But Stanley, you haven't said so much. You've heard... Okay, please hold on for me. 1 second. Let me come to Stanley. He's been a bit quiet. You were not happy.
He's not happy.
You're not happy, Stanley? You're not happy?
You're happy.
Happy is relevant.
Okay.
It's relative, so let me put it that way. But of course, like we said in the beginning, we keep on hammering to government. We are not asking government to, agree upon everything that we're asking. But you should meet us halfway, like what everybody is saying. And that's what we'll be hammering to government. Yesterday, the conversation I went on was fruitful. And like I said, we are waiting for National to bring out the official communique. But for right now, in terms of we calling up the strike or suspending the strike, I cannot say that on air until that comes out.
He won't say it on air, but the Zoomers joining are hopeful that it will be cancelled. Anyway, hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, my darling. Good morning. Your name is?
My name is Ali.
Ali, how are you?
I'm doing very. I was the first person to join and to raise my hand. You never called me.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Ali. Forgive me. Please forgive me, okay?
Yes, I want to say a very good thank you to our Greater Accra team. I'm equally a nurse.
Okay.
But I work in Upper West Region.
Okay.
But you see, I'm very disappointed, very disappointed. 1, with the media, 2, with government, and 3, with Ghanaians.
What did the media do?
Yes. When the issue happened, the commentary most of the media houses were running. You just simply know that they don't know what they were talking about. And it is not far from contacting the right people for them to explain to you about what is inside that document. The document is not just like everything there is for nurses.
But when you generalize the media, then it means that you're adding Joy Prime. But Joy Prime, we did contact your leadership. And so we didn't jump to conclusion. So probably you should exempt us out of it.
No problem.
Thank you.
Out. But I wasn't just happy at all. I work in a district where all the facilities, there are health centers. Currently, I have to rush to the facility last night so that when everything goes as we all want, I will be at work to continue my work. I work in a district where we don't even have a district hospital. All the facilities is a health center mounted by nurses. We do the job of everything, everybody. But small thing that everybody's talking, insulting us that we don't even qualify. Some of us feel that's why we became nurses. It's heartbreaking. Sometimes we have to. A woman comes to deliver. You don't even have simple gloves to even receive, but you have to use your personal money to buy these things to use. Make sure that the system runs. Somebody goes to sit somewhere and just tell you that you are heartless. You don't have empathy with people. I said, if care is not, that, you ask those our colleagues in the studio, the number of nurses who are leaving the country, the number of nurses who are dying daily because they contracted one disease or another from the work we render.
All right,
right now, I have somebody who was treating a TB client eventually become a TB patient.
Yes.
Who if the guy dies today, the government, they will just go and give the family some 200 cedis and some small chicken change, and then that's all. They'll forget about you. Nobody's talking about that.
All right, Ali.
You have a nurse willing to leave the source of Ghana to go to. I have a colleague who is currently in UK, and what he does is just package, what's the name? Scraps for doctors, and the money he receives, you call your boy, you are sitting there.
All right, Ali, thank you so much for joining. And it's not easy. I mean, we might be laughing over this issue, but it's a very serious issue because if you put yourself in their shoes, you will understand. Elizabeth, good morning. Elizabeth, kindly unmute yourself for us. Hello? Hello, Elizabeth.
Hello.
Okay, so I want to pick Elizabeth. Hi, Elizabeth. Unmute yourself for me if you can hear me. And I can tell that you're already in your uniform, right? Elizabeth Abe. Okay, so we'll have to go back and pick Elizabeth Abe. Who is our next person joining? We have so many Zoomers.
Yes.
People have decided to... Why, did you share the link or something?
Share the link, share the link.
Hello? Is it infinite? Infinite? Okay. Hello? Okay, so I wish Elizabeth will be able to speak to us because her facial expression tells us a lot, that she has so much that she wants to say. And so we'll try to see if she's still on. Let's try and see how best she can join us or mute herself and join us. And who else can we pick? Kwame. Good morning, Kwame. Hello, Kwame. Hello.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear, Kwame. Talk to us.
Okay. Good morning, and once again, I congratulate our representative as a studio. They are doing a great work. What I want to say is, Ghanaian nurses are not asking much. It's heartbreaking when you get to hear what some media houses said about us, what some other people said, other ordinary Ghanaians said about nursing. But now you see the relevance of being a Ghanaian nurse. It's a chain of work, and without one, the chain can never continue. In as much as some may use other routes entering nursing, because we didn't, all of us didn't enter nursing through the degree routes. But every nurse is important. We are not asking much. There are times that we contact other infections from the patients, and the outcome of it is an eyesore. Ghanaian nurses have to be on the media begging. We give health, but who cares for the life of a Ghanaian nurse? We are not asking in a lot. What we are saying is the government should at least listen to us. Ghanaians should at least know the truth, what we are fighting for. people have politicized this strike, but I want to let them understand that it is about ourselves. And if we don't fight now, our next generation will come and bear what we were bearing.
All right. Thank you so much. All right, Kwame. Thank you very much for joining us. I think one thing that we will want to ask, because you're asking for a better condition of service, if you don't mind letting us know, how much does an entrant earn?
Oh, we have 3 levels of entry.
Okay.
So it would be unfair to your people to just mention. We have certificate holders, we have diploma holders, and we have degree holders as entrants to the nursing profession. And they are all pegged on different levels, salary structure, on a single spine salary. So we all don't take the same salary.
All right, so the certificate holders earn how much?
Maybe unless I check, because we have basic salary and we have market premium. Those are the 2 items that we receive on our salary.
Okay, please confirm for me. I just want people to know, because people keep on saying so many things that are not true about nurses, but today we want to clear the air. Good morning, Bullet. Hello, Bullet.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Madam.
How are you?
I'm good. And you?
Fine, thank you. Talk to us.
Yeah, I want to say good morning to the panelists and you yourself at the studio. The strike that we are in now, I'm equally a nurse. I work in BIM Municipal Hospital in the northern region. I think we the nurses are doing more harm to ourselves than good. I'm talking to the associations that we are having. Is it 4 or 5 associations that we are having? We are doing more harm to ourselves than good. In the sense that we have GRMA as the mother association, we have UPNFG as the second association, we have the Midwives Association, and then we have the Psychiatrist Association, Psychiatry Nurses Association, and other affiliate associations. Why don't all these associations come together and then plan the roadmap? It's either we are going on strike or we are doing this. You see on the flyer for strike, GRMA have declared a nationwide strike. Meanwhile, we have more than 2-3 associations in Ghana. Let me take you back to the teachers' condition of services. When they wanted fighting for the government to implement it, that was last year. All the associations, 2 or 3 associations came together to fight the government. They issued only one statement that comprises all the associations, and they came together to tell the government that we want our condition of service to be implemented. And because it was a unity statement from all the associations, the government had no option to abide by their wish. But here comes the case. Jeremy will go to their council meeting and come and tell.
All right, okay, Bullet, thank you so much. Let me go on. So I have so many people, and so probably I'll give each person 30 seconds. Let's do it 30 seconds. You've been on for a while, so let's do this together in 30 seconds, 30 seconds, 30 seconds, so I can come back to the studio. Ifanite, good morning. Hello, good morning, Ifanite.
Good morning.
How are you? What's your name?
My name is Suleimana Mohammed.
All right, Suleimana, talk to us.
I want to say good morning to your panels and to you yourself and your cherished viewers. Well, you see what the nurses are doing. You see, the government is not saying that no one should enjoy condition of services. Every worker is entitled and is allowed to be given what they demand. But the problem is that currently, as we are speaking, do you know that last year, 2024, the president herself, Perpetua, she said the condition of Ghana is not permanent now. So I don't know why change of government has done, and then currently she's on the government neck that they should do the needful. Definitely, when things stabilize, government will look at them, and government have much plans for nurses.
All right, thank you so much. All right, thank you very much for joining. How true is this? Did
No, you see, when you want to twist the issue and make it political, that is where you come up with such statements. At the time of negotiation, Madame Perpetua, we try to. She's the lead person. It doesn't mean that whatever decision or whatever she says is her bona fide.
Okay.
No. She's not taking decision for the association.
Although she's the leader.
Although she's the leader, we have structures. The highest decision body is the National Council.
Okay.
So she cannot, whatever she says, represent all nurses and midwives. Having said granted she said what she said, whatever was agreed.
And did she say it?
No, on records. Whatever she said, whatever was agreed in 2024 is what we are saying should be implemented now.
Okay.
We are not asking for anything entirely new. It is not, so that is where the misinformation we're coming in for.
Okay.
People hitherto were thinking that we are now at a negotiation table, we are pressing the neck of government. No.
Because of change of government.
That is not the issue.
Okay.
These are things that were agreed last year, and we are saying that owing to the economic challenge, just implement what have been agreed. What is new about it?
All right, fantastic. Good morning, Maxwell.
Good morning.
How are you?
So, I'm fine. I'm doing fine.
Great.
So I want to thank Solomon, the rest in your studio. You see, the hallmark of this whole issue is communication from the Minister of Health. He didn't communicate with us very well, and he didn't give us any listening ear. And some of the media houses, the way they spoke to nurses was so uncalled for. When there are issues, you don't come out with your sentiment to insult nurses. Nurses are taking monies for clients for their referrals. What is so big for a nurse to ask for these things? And yet you come on radio to insult nurses. So please, I think the Minister of Health has to look at the way he manages his communication. It's so bad.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining, Maxwell. And who do we have next? Okay. Abdullah, good morning.
Good morning. My hand almost tapped off.
Oh, thank God it didn't. Talk to us.
No, I thought because you saw the blackboard behind me.
We'll do that to you. We love teachers as well. I can't hear you. It looks like your sound is very low.
Yeah, because of the kids are coming, that is why. Sorry for that.
Okay.
I just want to comment on what we have done, we have discussed so far, and especially the condition of service of our nurses and other things. I must say that the nurses should understand that when teachers are going for twice, they are going with, they have a way out to recover what has been lost. But should in case somebody like is lost at this particular juncture, I think it will be very difficult for us to say that particular life can come back again. So I understand that they will have a meeting or otherwise, but I'm hoping that they should come back to our wards in order to get our patient, attend to the patient, especially at the rural areas where you realize that there is no means of even referral means for members and then patients who needs to be referred to any district or what municipal hospital in order.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you very much for joining us. So I go on to my next Zoomer. I know so many of you are still on. I want to try as much as possible. Victor, hello.
Joy Pride.
Yes, Victor. Yes, you have joined us on Joy Pride. Talk to us. Lower the volume of your television set, okay? All right. Hello, Victor. Talk to us. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I want to greet all the panelists in the studio and then also send greetings to national leadership for the good work that they have done concerning this strike. It is not our wish that it will come to this, but then as nurses, it gets to a point that we see that our condition of service, which is not that good, if nothing is done about it, it rather demoralizes us, the nurses. And this in turn affects the patient care. So all that is happening, the public should understand that it is for their own good that this is happening. And they should rather speak for us and to government, that the government will do the needful. I am working at a psychiatric hospital. And throughout this strike, I'm only wondering how our patients will be managed during this period that we are at. So it is a serious issue that the government needs to turn attention. Then they should stop the politics and then the disinformation that they are trying to throw into the public so that they will cause public sympathy. That will not help. And I know that as far as our leadership has made the Parliamentary Select Committee, some come out very soon, and then we will all be able to return back to work. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for joining us on Zoom and making your opinions heard. It's quite sad. Hello? Okay, I have another. Foster. Hi, Foster. Hello, Foster. You happen to be my last Zoomer for this morning. Unfortunately, we can't pick the rest. And so unmute yourself for us, Foster, and talk to us.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, perfect. Talk to us.
Okay, good morning to your panelists and to all the people out there. I would like to say my other colleagues have made mention of it, for a lot of things, and I would like to say working as a nurse comes with a lot of sacrifices. For example, working in a rural area, you act like, as a medical doctor, you act like a nurse, you act like a resource, the health information officer. You do basically everything, and sometimes you have to pass through waters and pass through a lot of terrains to even get to your place of work to even go and deliver the services that you need to deliver. And we are not asking for something much or bigger, that is beyond the government. The government has made budget for us. That was in the year 2024, but due to the injunction that was put on our condition of service, that's why it has been delayed. So the question is, what happened to that budget that the government made? And the new one, our leaders met them on several occasions, even told them that after implementation of the budget that before they will go ahead to implement our condition of service. But yet after that, looking at the posture of the government, it looked like they are not willing to give us our condition of service, which is not fair to us as nurses in Ghana. And we are not happy going on strike, but we urge that the government would do the needful so that we also return to work to deliver the services that we need to give to our people as Ghanaians.
All right, thank you so much for joining us. And you happen to be our last Zoomer because we have to come back into the I want to apologize to all of you that joined us on Zoom this morning that we couldn't pick. Unfortunately, it's quite unfortunate. I hear we have over 15 people online right now trying to join us, but we are sorry, so sorry that we can't pick. Because of time, it's a live show, so we have to do this. So let me come back into the studio so we can have the final words of my guest here, and we go. So Stanley, your people are calling on you. Now it's like the leadership. You are the ones to deliver. Do you think at the end of the day, they'll be happy with whatever decision has been made?
Yes, I believe so. Like I said, I will not be tempted to make any information, give any information out. I will leave it to National, waiting for the official communique. But we know that whatever transpired yesterday in the Parliamentary Health Committee was very fruitful. And it's a win-win for everybody. Like I said, I'll use the opportunity again to hammer that to every nurse and midwife that we are one. Irrespective of the group that you belong to, we are one. When it comes to issues of our welfare, please, let's all rally together and make it work. Don't let the politicians lie to you. It is our concern that is important. We know what we go through. Thank you very much.
All right, so I'll come to you as well, but let me read a few comments coming in. Good morning, Roslyn. Yes, condition of service for our nurses is okay, but how does the leadership of Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association address the issue of misconduct and misbehavior of most of their members at work? Disrespect, negligence, and unprofessionalism. I encourage the general public to report and condemn such acts. It's from Simon, and he continues by saying, I think your panelists are overstressing their points. There are risks in every profession. Just look at our drivers on the road and on a long distance driving. How about mortuary men? How about the farmer? How about the media personnel, etc.? When you hear comments like these, how do you feel?
It's interesting to have this comments coming in. But first of all, in the issue of misconduct and whatever he was talking about, negligence and disrespect to patients and everything, as an association, we are collaborated with our regulatory body, that's the Nursing and Midwifery Council, to organize periodic webinars to train our people to make sure that we'll build the confidence of the public, and when they come to the facility, they will have the assurance. But the issue that you talked about other people, we are speaking for ourselves.
Okay.
So they should also have a voice.
Speak for themselves.
Exactly.
Okay. Last one. Unfortunately, I can't read all. Ooh, I have so many messages. My goodness. All right. So good morning, Roslyn. I think the president has to sack the leaders of the strike. They are sabotaging his administration, so he has to be fast. Really, Robert? Robert, really? If you were to be a nurse, would you have said this? Anyway, so we have to go now. And so, Dinah, say something before we go, please.
I just think that all nurses and midwives should rally behind our leadership. They always want what's best for nurses and midwives in Ghana. So we believe that they will do what is best in our interests. That's all I had to say.
Fantastic. And Solomon?
I would like to use this opportunity to say a very big thank you to your good self and your platform that you've given us, because we had a lot of misinformation out there, but as credible as your station is or your media house is, you reached out to us to know the true facts of the issue, and we discussed it apolitically. But sometimes when we add emotions, we add the politics to it, it changes the conversation, the focus of the conversation, and we don't usually get the results. So I will urge the public that when issues of such nature comes out, it's about health, it's about human life. We should discuss it dispassionately, devoid of politics. And to my nurses and midwife, we would like to say that the leadership of Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwife Association is always there to work for you. Don't be intimidated as you go back to work. If you have any such issues, report to your leaders and we'll come to your aid.
All right, thank you so much. You still didn't give me the figures, though. Next time. You don't want to give me the figures.